All right, so welcome to another deep dive. And today we're going to try to tackle something that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, but it's actually ripped from the headlines.
Oh, is it ever?
These alleged alien mummies that were recently presented in Mexico City.
Yeah, this has really captured a lot of people's imaginations, you know?
Yeah.
And I think what makes this deep dive so interesting is we're going beyond just the news reports, and we're looking at 3 different hypnotic regression sessions,
Yeah.
all focused on that congressional hearing where Jaime Maussan presented those figures.
Right. And so in each of these sessions, we're going to hear from people attempting to tap into, I guess you could say, a deeper layer of understanding about what exactly went on at that event.
A deeper layer, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And before we get started, I think it's important to point out that hypnotic regression, it's not exactly a foolproof method.
Right, it's not like a magic bullet or anything.
Yeah.
Memories can be subjective, and interpretations can vary, but that's also kind of what makes it so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's like you're peering through this hazy window into the subconscious.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, where beliefs and perceptions, they can get all tangled up with actual events.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even with that inherent ambiguity, what I found so interesting is that there are these striking commonalities across all 3 sessions.
Yeah, there really are some common threads.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder if there's something more to this whole alien mummy event than what we see on the surface.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I think one of the biggest points of agreement among all 3 subjects is that the event itself was planned. You know, it was a spectacle that was orchestrated with very specific goals in mind.
Okay, so right off the bat, we're dealing with something that was intentionally staged.
Yeah, it wasn't just some random occurrence. It
Yeah.
was a show.
All right, that's interesting. And what else? I mean, is there more? Did they all kind of agree on what the goals were, or was it a little bit more ambiguous?
Well, that's where things start to diverge a bit.
Right.
But there's another fascinating commonality that really jumps out.
Okay.
They all suggest that those mummies, they're not genuine alien remains.
Whoa, wait a minute, hold on. So if they're not aliens, then what are they?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And each session kind of offers a different piece of the puzzle.
Okay, so let's break it down. Let's start with the first session.
Right.
We're going to talk about Ksyusha's session first, right?
Right. Yeah. Ksyusha's session is really interesting because she's immediately skeptical
Okay.
of the mummy's authenticity. And she believes that they were purposely fabricated, you know, like they were planted to manipulate public perception.
Like a stage distraction.
Yeah, exactly. She sees the whole event as a smokescreen, something to divert attention while other things are going on, you know, behind the scenes.
So she's saying that there's something else happening, something that they don't want us to see, and this whole alien mummy thing is just meant to draw our attention away from that.
Exactly. She actually uses the phrase white noise
Oh, wow.
to describe it, you know, designed to cover up what she calls mischief.
Okay, so we've got mischief, we've got a smoke screen, we've got white noise. What kind of mischief are we talking about here?
Well, Ksyusha connects the mummies to a powerful hidden group that she believes is seeking to maintain control and suppress what she calls humanity's spiritual awakening.
Oh, wow. So we're getting into some pretty deep esoteric territory here.
We are, yeah.
Okay, so there's this hidden group that's trying to control us, keep us in the dark, and they're using these fake alien mummies as a way to do that.
That's how she sees it, yeah. And she actually goes on to describe these beings, you know, the ones behind the mummies, as murderers.
Murderers, whoa.
Yeah, she links them to a vast intergalactic system of what she calls soul recycling.
Soul recycling. Okay, now I'm really lost. What does that even mean?
She doesn't fully elaborate on it, but it seems to involve some sort of manipulation of souls.
Oh, yeah?
And maybe even genetic engineering on a cosmic scale.
Wow. That is heavy stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty chilling.
Yeah. So for Ksyusha, this whole event is about manipulation and control, right?
Yeah.
Using this fabricated spectacle to distract and deceive.
Exactly.
Okay. Now contrast that with Valeria's session, because if I remember correctly, hers takes a completely different turn.
Oh,
right?
yeah, completely different. Instead of seeing some kind of sinister plot, Valeria views the event as a symbolic opening of a portal.
A portal.
Yeah, like a doorway,
Oh, shit.
ushering in a new era and a shift in global power dynamics.
Okay, so less Men in Black and more like cosmic energy shift.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
She describes it as a dedication to a new time.
Interesting.
And she sees the mummies as representatives of a previous stage of evolution,
Mm-hmm.
beings from another dimension whose presence marks a significant transition for humanity.
It's a much more optimistic interpretation than Ksyusha's, right?
Oh, absolutely. Ksyusha sees, a hidden hand pulling the strings, while Valeria sees a natural progression and evolution of consciousness on a planetary scale.
Wow. So two very different perspectives, but both agree that the event was orchestrated
Yes.
and the mummies aren't actually aliens.
On that, they're in complete agreement.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, I'm really curious to hear about Svetlana's session, because if I remember correctly, she's the one who believes those mummies are actually advanced biorobots. Right.
You've got a good memory. That's exactly right.
Right.
Svetlana's session really delves into the realm of advanced technology, suggesting that these mummies aren't extraterrestrial remains at all, but sophisticated machines created in a lab.
Robot mummies.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. So instead of an alien encounter, what we're actually seeing is some sort of technological marvel being unveiled.
Unveiled, yeah, under the guise of an extraterrestrial discovery.
Under the guise, right.
That's how she sees it. She describes the event as a strategic move by a system of control involving governments, military, and scientists.
So it's like a slow drip of information, kind of acclimating us to a future where technology becomes increasingly indistinguishable from life itself.
Exactly.
Right.
And she links the activation of this biorobot technology specifically to China,
Okay.
describing a vast network being brought online there.
Wow. That's a really thought-provoking concept. The idea of a society where technology has become so advanced that it blurs the lines between human and machine.
It's a fascinating and perhaps unsettling possibility to contemplate.
It really is.
Yeah.
So here we are. We have three fascinating yet wildly different interpretations of this one event. We have a fabricated distraction,
Right.
a symbolic portal opening,
Mm-hmm.
and the unveiling of advanced technology.
Three very different lenses through which to view the same event.
And yet, despite these differences, there's this common thread running through each session, a sense that there are these powerful forces at play,
Yeah, that's a great point.
shaping the world in ways that we may not fully comprehend.
Absolutely. Forces that are operating just beneath the surface of our everyday awareness.
It's almost like we're catching these glimpses of a hidden reality.
I like that, glimpses of a hidden reality.
Yeah, and we're gonna try to shed some more light on that hidden reality as we continue our deep dive into these hypnotic regression sessions.
Yeah.
So stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, so we've got these three distinct perspectives, each one kind of offering a unique glimpse into the potential reality behind this alien mummy event. But before we get too deep into the implications, I'm kind of curious to hear more about the specific details that are revealed in each of these sessions.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to unpack in each one.
Yeah.
For instance, Ksyusha's session goes beyond simply labeling the event as a distraction.
Right.
She delves into the alleged history of these beings, painting a rather unsettling picture of their origins and their purpose.
Right. She described them as warriors and researchers, if I remember correctly. Does she elaborate on what exactly they were researching or fighting for?
She does. When prompted to explore their backstory, Ksyusha describes a failed colonization attempt.
Oh, wow.
She claims that these beings, they arrived on Earth with the intention of establishing a permanent presence here.
Really?
To integrate and acclimate the population, as she puts it.
So not just a quick research mission.
Yeah, no, not at all.
They were actually planning to set up shop here.
That's the impression that Ksyusha gets during the regression.
Wow.
She describes their objective as completely open colonization.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty bold.
It is. But according to her account, something went terribly wrong. They faced unexpected hostility and were ultimately eliminated.
Eliminated. By whom? I mean, were they wiped out by other extraterrestrials? Or maybe ancient humans who just weren't too keen on sharing their planet?
That part remains a bit unclear in Ksyusha's account.
Okay.
She describes the attackers as preferring to operate in secrecy,
Okay.
favoring covert arrivals for information gathering and resource extraction.
So some kind of intergalactic turf war.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
And these beings were caught in the crossfire.
Possibly, yeah.
It's like something straight out of a sci-fi epic.
It certainly sparks the imagination.
It does. But we gotta remember that we are dealing with subjective interpretations here.
Right.
Right? I mean, it's important to maintain a healthy dose of skepticism,
Absolutely.
especially when we're navigating these kind of uncharted waters of ufology and hypnotic regression.
Agreed.
Okay, but even with that in mind, it's hard not to get drawn into these narratives.
Mm.
So speaking of narratives, what about Valeria's session? If Ksyusha is all about conflict and deception, how does Valeria's interpretation kind of differ from that?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Valeria sees the event as a symbolic portal opening, a transition to a new era for humanity.
Right, right.
But her session also delves into the nature of those mummies themselves, describing them as representatives of a bygone era,
Okay,
a stage of evolution that humanity is moving beyond.
right. And she uses the phrase dedication to a new time, I remember,
Yeah, exactly.
suggesting this kind of shift in consciousness, almost like a graduation of sorts.
Yeah, it's a beautiful way to think about it.
It is.
And Valeria really emphasizes the multidimensional nature of reality, you know, implying that our limited human perception makes it really difficult to fully grasp the true significance of this event.
Yeah, it's like we're trying to understand a four-dimensional object with our three-dimensional minds.
That's a great way to put it.
It's both intriguing and a little bit frustrating at the same time.
I think that's a common experience when delving into these sorts of topics.
Yeah.
We're trying to make sense of something that might be fundamentally beyond our current understanding. But that's also the beauty of it, isn't it? It pushes us to expand our thinking, to consider possibilities that we might have otherwise dismissed.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of expanding our thinking, let's shift gears now and talk about Svetlana's session. She's the one who believes those mummies are actually advanced biorobots, right?
That's right.
What kind of details does she provide about these supposed robots?
Well, Svetlana's session is particularly interesting from a technological standpoint.
Okay.
She describes these biorobots as incredibly sophisticated machines,
Okay.
capable of withstanding really harsh environments
Wow.
and possessing a unique form of artificial soul.
An artificial soul.
Yeah.
That sounds almost like science fiction. I mean, what does she mean by that?
It's not entirely clear, but she seems to be suggesting that these biorobots have a level of consciousness
Okay.
or sentience that goes beyond, you know, simple artificial intelligence.
Right.
It's as if they've been imbued with a simulated essence, something akin to a soul.
So we're not talking about just like lines of code and algorithms here. We're talking about something more, something deeper.
That's what Svetlana seems to be implying.
Wow, that's taking artificial intelligence to a whole new level.
It really is. It's
Yeah.
both fascinating and a little unsettling, to be honest.
It is, yeah, for sure.
I think many people share that sentiment. The idea of machines that can mimic human consciousness is a potent one,
Right.
full of both promise and potential peril.
For sure. But remember, this is just one interpretation, one possible explanation for what these mummies might actually be.
Right.
But I have to admit, the more we delve into these sessions, the more intriguing this whole alien mummy event becomes. It's like peeling back layers of an onion, revealing more complexity and mystery with each layer.
It's a layered and multifaceted story for sure. And it raises some profound questions about the nature of reality, the potential of technology, and the very essence of what it means to be human.
And those are questions that we'll continue to explore in our final segment right after the break. All right, so we're back. And I got to say, my mind is still spinning a little bit from those hypnotic regression sessions. It's like we've been given 3 different keys to the same locked door, but each key unlocks a completely different room.
It's a great analogy. It really is. Each session offers a unique perspective, a different way of interpreting that same event. And Svetlana's account with those advanced biorobots is perhaps the most technologically intriguing of them all.
Yeah, for sure. We were discussing that concept of an artificial soul in the last segment, and I'm still struggling to wrap my head around what that might even entail.
Yeah.
I mean, does Svetlana elaborate on how such a thing could even be possible?
She doesn't provide any specific technical details,
Okay.
but she describes these biorobots as being designed for specific tasks and connected to some kind of central control system.
Okay.
Almost like a hive mind.
So not just individual robots, but a network of interconnected machines all kind of working in unison.
That seems to be the implication. And remember, she specifically links the activation of this biorobot technology to China,
Right.
suggesting a vast network is being brought online there.
It's a bit unnerving, isn't it? The idea of a society where technology has become so integrated, so pervasive that it blurs the lines between human and machine.
It certainly raises questions about the future of humanity and our relationship with technology. Are we heading toward a future where biorobots become an everyday part of our lives?
Yeah.
And if so, what are the ethical implications? It's a topic that deserves serious consideration.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
While Svetlana's session is fascinating from a technological perspective,
Yeah.
it's hard not to feel a bit apprehensive about the potential consequences of such advanced technology.
Yeah, I understand. It's understandable to feel apprehensive when you're faced with the unknown.
Right.
But remember, these hypnotic regression sessions are just one lens through which to view this event.
Yeah.
We can't take any single interpretation as definitive truth.
Right, right. It's all about exploring the possibilities,
Yeah.
considering different perspectives, and forming our own conclusions based on the available information.
Exactly. And even if we take these sessions with a grain of salt, they still serve a valuable purpose. They
Right.
challenge us to think outside the box, to
Right.
question our assumptions about reality,
I like that.
and to consider the possibility that there might be more to the world than we currently perceive.
So where does this leave us? We've explored 3 very different hypnotic regression sessions, each one offering a unique perspective on those alien mummies. We've got Ksyusha's tale of a foiled colonization attempt, Valeria's vision of a cosmic portal opening, and Svetlana's account of advanced biorobotic technology. It's a lot to process.
It is.
Yeah.
But I think that's the point of these deep dives, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
not about finding definitive answers or confirming our existing beliefs. It's about embracing the mystery,
Yeah.
exploring the unknown, and expanding our understanding of the vast possibilities that exist within and beyond our perceived reality.
Yeah, I love that. It's a reminder that we're always learning, always evolving, and that the universe is full of wonders that we may never fully comprehend.
Precisely. And that sense of wonder, that curiosity and desire to explore is what keeps us moving forward, seeking new knowledge and understanding.
Well said. Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with this. If these hypnotic regression sessions offer even a glimpse of truth, what does that tell us about the nature of reality, the potential of technology, and the hidden forces that might be shaping our world? Keep those questions in mind as you navigate your own journey of discovery. Until next time, keep exploring and keep diving deep.